No games of hoops on a Monday night, so we'll be doing predictions. We will speak about Knicks fans and see maybe some more surprises. My name is Shlomo Stark,
My name is Levi Jacob.
and this is the NBA Daily Recap in 15 minutes or less. Levi, Daily Recap, it really is. There's little to no NBA content going on, but we are chugging through. Um, let's start with, predictions. So we have two conference finals matchups coming up. Really unexpected for, I would say. You probably made a lot of money if before the season you bet Timberwolves, Thunder, Knicks, Pacers in the conference finals. Honestly, probably even you made a lot of money if you did that in the beginning of the playoffs. Forget the beginning of the season. So congrats to all four teams. You are a Thunder fan. I'm a Knicks fan. We both love Anthony Edwards and we both love Tyrese Halliburton. So this is great playoffs for us. Great content, great season. Predictions. Let's do the Knicks last. I'm just gonna say it because you're gonna disagree with me. So I'm just gonna put it out there. We could disagree. Timberwolves in 6.
Okay. Uh,
Do you want to say should I make the case or do you want to say your prediction? How do you want?
I can make the case because I think everybody knows what my approach would be.
Well, I don't know how many games you think the Thunder will win in, but um, Anthony Edwards has been arguably the most dominant superstar this playoffs.
Okay.
You yourself have coined him the legend killer. Um, and I think he plays his best when he is an underdog. I think everyone thought the Lakers would win because of LeBron and Luka, and he tore them apart. And I don't think people thought the Warriors would win, but regardless, he tore them apart. Like he wasn't. The one game he didn't play well was when Steph was hurt, and it was people are expecting you to win. Like that was kind of you kind of brought that up on the podcast. I think he really likes it. Like let's say last year, I don't even remember. Nobody thought they could beat Denver, and they did. Whereas the Mavericks, everyone's like, oh, I think they were going to beat the Mavericks and make the finals. Like this is Anthony Edwards' moment, and that's when he sort of dropped the ball and the Mavericks beat them. Randall has figured it out. He could bully a lot of the smaller guys on him. You're going to have one or two Gobert games, and I think Anthony Edwards has another level to go up. And I think the Thunder have proven that they're not that good when they're not up 20. They're fine. They're fine. When they're blowing teams out, they are one of the best teams I've ever seen. When the game is close, they are beatable. If it's within a 7-point game with 7 minutes left, it is anyone's game, and I think the Timberwolves are good enough to keep it close, which is why I have the Timberwolves in 6.
Okay. I think it will be 6. I think it's definitely OKC. I think, like you're saying, I think the losses will be close games. My counter to Anthony Edwards in this playoffs, I guess you didn't listen, but I think 2 days ago, I want to say, when I did the podcast with Max, I said that the legend killer title doesn't apply to this past series. Anthony Edwards against the Warriors.
Oh, I agree with that. No, I'm saying it's going to apply to this series with SGA.
I hear it. The only problem is ultimately, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I think that the Timberwolves throughout the season have been the toughest matchup for the Thunder. That being said, I don't believe any of the Julius Randle anything. I just don't like. they've played against back-to-back teams now in the playoffs in the past two series that just don't really have any size and are older overall. Like who is he defending against and even playing physically against in again with the Lakers? You know what I'm saying? Like he was doing a good job on LeBron, but the problem is that like LeBron was still doing what he needed to do. I think that in regards to Julius Randle, the best defensive option against him is a long limbed player. I think Chet is exactly just kind of the poison for him. The Timberwolves though get hot on offense. Their team like eventually gets it buzzing around. They have very good movement. Some games I think that'll win them a couple games. Like you saw more specifically against the Lakers, against the Warriors. I just don't think that it was. I can't point to any one game that was so impressive as a team, just because the Warriors just I don't think put up enough of a fight for them, I guess, to be interested. Like you're saying with Anthony Edwards wanting to be more engaged in games. Um, that being said, I think that the Thunder are just. I think they have too much depth and too much game planning for them not to win this series. Like watching them against the Nuggets is exactly their kryptonite, and they still managed to figure it out with Alex Caruso and help defenders. Like it was just nuts to watch last night. Um,
They were great last night. That's the thing. I think the Thunder will win two of their games, and those two games will be blowouts. I'm predicting two blowouts for the Thunder and four close games, and Minnesota to go 4-0 in those close games.
well, yeah, I don't see it that way. We'll see what happens. Obviously, I do
Yeah,
think that.
because I also think I'm in a super minority.
Yeah,
Like mine is the hot take. It is not like I think most people would say Thunder in 5, 6, or 7.
yeah.
I think they're for sure favored. No, I saw it this morning. They're definitely favored gambling.
So 1.5 or something.
No, oh, game one. That's game and a half. I'm talking about the series. They're like they're like minus 350 to win the series.
Mm-hmm. I think game one actually might be the game that they lose because coming off of a 7 game series, they have 2 games to rest, and they're in OKC, so they're at least staying there, so like they have the rest there. But I think that like it was just a really like, especially if you want Caruso to contribute anything, like I'm sure he's feeling it from last night. So we'll see. It's gonna be a very exciting series though. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's really gonna be a lot of fun.
I agree. I'm very pumped. Next, swish. Knicks, Pacers. I thought long and hard about this one. I studied both teams. The Pacers are really deep. The Knicks are more talented. The Pacers beat us last year. We got hurt last year. Knicks in 7.
I think I agree with you. That's funny. I think exactly that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, and these games, I think basically all of them are going to be close. It's going to be, I think it's going to be reminiscent of the Pistons series, where it's just like 5 points, 10 points. Like, I don't think it'll be like the Boston series at all. I think it's going to be like just rock fights, physical. The Boston series wasn't that physical.
Well, yeah,
I think I think this series is going to be very physical, and I think the Knicks will ultimately win. That being said, the side I'll make for the Pacers is I think it's much more likely a Knick gets injured than a Pacer. And I think if we lose one of our 5, they win.
yeah. I
Like we lose, or no, you know what? Even Mitch, I would say one of our 6. If we lose Brunson, Hart, Anunoby, Bridges, Robinson, or Towns, we will lose the series. Whereas it's different. Like them, I think it's only if they lose like Halliburton and Siakam will they lose. Like they have guys, they're just so deep. They have guys who could just come in.
I'm trying to look up throughout these playoffs rebound rates for Knicks versus Pacers. I'm not as worried about. I think like the Mitchell Robinson thing was a very key advantage against the Celtics. I can't find it right now against the Celtics.
He was also key against the Pistons. Mr. Robinson's been amazing
No,
this entire player.
100%. But I'm saying I think that the Pistons in having like they had like a lot of size. The Celtics had as much size, but that's what gave the Knicks the advantage. I think that in this series, a severe lack of like if you wanted to pick out one thing, I think for the Pacers is they kind of do like supplemental rebounding, which means that if the Knicks have a big man that really wants to fight for boards, he can. Mitch Robinson again might be the uptick here. I think that Karl Anthony Towns oftentimes though can also beat Miles Turner for rebounds. But I think also like it might be that in this series, Precious like plays a good role. Honestly, I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
No, it's going to be Mitch. It's going to be Mitch. It's not going to be Precious. Thibodeau has played Precious a total of like 4 minutes.
I know, but I think that
Not going to happen.
it's very likely though that Mitch their bigs are just better at drawing fouls. The Pacers. Like I think that it really might be a complication for them. Wait, last thing I want to say very quickly. Um, I think that there's like a lot of talk about Knicks versus Pacers, and last year the Pacers eliminated them, whatever. To be honest with you, though, like in looking at that graphic actually that you sent to us today about that the Knicks 2/5 of their lineup are different and playing on fine on Eastern on conference finals teams and whatever. The Knicks team is a different team.
Or another way you could say it is, if the Knicks were healthy last year, they would have won the finals. No one says that, and except
I think that they I don't know about winning the finals, but they definitely would have. I think that they would have beat the Pacers.
and we would have beaten Boston.
But I'm saying that either way, I this Knicks team the dynamic is entirely different.
Well, yeah, we traded a key piece. We got Karl Anthony Towns and Bridges, of course. We became better offensively. We traded offense for defense, basically. We lost Dante and Hartenstein, and we got Bridges and Towns.
Right. So all I'm saying is that I just think that like to think of it as the same series as last year is just not it's not accurate. That's
Oh no, I haven't been thinking about it that way at all. I agree with that. 100% agree. Speaking of Knicks fans, so there's two moments. One is where a Halliburton fan, this has been going online. A Halliburton, someone after the game on Friday night, yeah, was wearing a Halliburton jersey, and he got trash thrown at him, and almost looked like he was gonna get lynched. Just for being a Pacers fan. I will say I was in Boston with Knicks gear. They were a lot nicer. They were down 3-2 in the series, but they were lovely. I actually became friends with the people behind me, like who were Celtics fans. Like it was not a hostile environment to say the least. I thought it would be, but Tyrese Halliburton saw this clip going around, and he went on McAfee with this guy. I forgot his name. He's a firefighter. Classic New Yorkers being mean to a firefighter. What the heck is wrong with us? And he offered him to fly him and a friend to Indiana for game 4, meet the team. Super cool. Just what a move by Halliburton. And then also another Nick thing, what happened was Brian Windhorst was just like, I'm gonna change the wording a bit here so that I don't use profanity on the pod. But basically someone says, so Brian, what do you think of the game? And he starts like getting into his like analytical, like, well, I thought the name. He's like, I don't care, Knicks and Flames. And he just went nuts. And the Knicks fans are psycho.
they started throwing stuff at him.
Yeah, Knicks fans are crazy. Um, I have never felt more steam than when I saw the Knicks fans torture Windy and this Pacers fan. Like I watched it and it took me like the comments online for me to realize that this is actually not normal behavior. Knicks fans are psychopaths. And I'm going to say we. we are psychopaths. I would have been right there throwing the trash. Maybe put on a baseball hat so there's no Chil Hashem to get for the Jews out there. But I totally understand them. I'm totally with them, and I'm going the other way. I'm team Knicks fans on this one.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's controversial.
You're so thrown up. You're so thrown up.
That's in studio drama. No, listen. Number one, the Pacers fan wearing the Pacers jersey to Friday night Knicks game. Listen, you can't physically assault a guy.
Thank you. It's his fault. You're with me on this.
You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
Exactly. You're poking the bear. You're poking the bear.
Yeah, it's dangerous, especially because listen, gonna go to a basketball game, people are definitely also drinking. It's not a good look. I'm sorry, I can't really hear it. I can't hear as much. Brian Windhorst, on the other hand, listen, you love him, whatever.
Brian Windhorst, this poor guy. Yeah. I thought a little bad for Brian Windhorst, but I probably would have done the exact same thing. And you and Max would have gotten mad at me for not getting real content. Well, honestly, actually, you wouldn't have been mad because that would have been the best content because it would have blown up. But yes, that probably would have been my reaction too. It's just, yeah. Can I explain it to you this way? You know how if there's a baby on top of a car on top of a baby, mothers get unreal superpowers, the adrenaline kicks in and they're able to lift the car. Sure. That's Knicks fans when we get an Eastern Conference Finals appearance. We lose all thoughts of being human and just go absolutely insane. It's someone in a Halliburton jersey, throw trash at him. It's Brian Windhorst, throw stuff at him.
Can I
it's not even, we don't think. It's just the adrenaline kicks in. Sure.
That's like telling me that when the Eagles win a Super Bowl, their fans are just going to get DUIs. They physically assaulted a man. It's illegal. It's literally you can say it's bound to happen, but at the same time,
listen, we deserve the consequences, meaning I don't think they should be exempt from the law, but I'm explaining what's going through their mind. I'm not justifying it. I'm relating to it, and I'm explaining what's going through our heads.
I mean, listen, the flip side of this is I don't know to tell you that if that fan wasn't instead LeBron James, the same thing wouldn't happen because he hates Brian Windhorst for some reason. So,
No, I think they made up, actually. I heard they made up.
Was it after the Pat McAfee show when LeBron just viciously tore him apart? Was that when that was?
Yeah, I think it was after that. Because Windhorst was got his career started through LeBron.
Yeah, 100%. But at the same time, that's
I think they made up since then. I think Windhorst talked about it publicly. They talked. They have to.
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess that was the NBA Daily Recap in 15 minutes. Oh no, the basketball Daily Recap. No, the Daily Basketball Recap. Nailed it. In 15 minutes or less. I want to thank you, Levi, for co-hosting, for producing, and for just having a great smile and for having the Pacers back when us Knicks fans are all against him. And I want to thank you for listening.